Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be doing a get ready with me and the black booktube tag. I've never done one of these before and I am no expert, but I thought you should just give me something to do while I talk. And this is gonna be sort of a chilled thing. I'm just getting back to my posting and reading cycle again. So we'll see how this will go. Like, hopefully, this will be a success because you don't know how many videos I've filmed to get here. Anyway, without further ado, because I don't want to bore you on my introduction, because I know you all are skipping, but anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. The black booktuber tag. Okay, so I was tagged by the lovely Mariama over at Reading Black. I will link her channel down below. And I was going to do it at the time she posted, but that was such a busy time for me. And I don't know, better late than never. I mean, if y'all are here, you might as well watch anyway. So the first question is, tell us a little bit about yourself. So My name is Martha and I come from Kenya. I'm 24. I'm almost done with my law degree. I guess it's just one more exam to go and I am practically finished. So right now I am back in Kenya and unemployed, I guess, and making videos, and all I've got to do is time for reading. All I have time for is reading and I guess making videos, which it's funny because when I was in school, my video schedule was more what is it, consistent, and now that I'm not, it isn't. But like, yo, post graduation is so weird. Like, getting into a routine after graduation is like, I don't know. Who's a black author that you love that not many people know about? My favorite author right now, currently, I would say is Elizabeth Acevedo. But I don't know. I don't know I mean, she's pretty popular as far as I can see in the YA world, and lots of people don't know about her. But if you don't know, like, there's a new author for you to go look for. She's, I think, American Dominican, or fully Dominican. I don't know. She writes a lot from that background, and I've really loved her as a writer this year. And in overall, like, she's, if I would name top five authors, it's her. Also, Nicola Yoon, the sun is also a star, and everything like Nicola Yoon and Elizabeth Acevedo. So I love them both because the their writing has this sort of similarities in them, in that, like, the characters are just soft. I love soft characters. I don't know how to explain a soft character. Like, I love the occasional adventurous character, like, flighty character, or you know complex character, but like, there's just something about having a soft character, like a slice of life type of thing, like a character that you would actually know a person like that in real life. And especially their male characters are so chilled, like, no hyped masculine traits, just a chill kind of, like, characters I would date in real life. Usually you get that question of what's your favorite character, and I would just say the ones in both Nicola Yoons and Elizabeth Acevedo are my favorites. I hope that's not another question to be answered because I've already answered that right now. Favorite book about the Black experience. My favorite book about the Black experience. I don't know. Like, I don't have a book in particular about the universal Black experience. Maybe I should just name three that I've really loved. Okay, so a book um, a book I love that is about the Black experience. Obviously, not one is showing the full spectrum of the Black experience, But like what I really, really loved was what was it? Ain't I a Woman by Bell Hooks and Sister Outsider, a, a collection of essays by Audre Lorde. Obviously, these are the experiences of Black women, and in Audre Lorde's case, queer Black women. But I loved those that discussed, the experience of a Black woman anywhere, and but okay, especially in America, growing up in a, white supremacist capitalist state, and that, and all that, like the things that Black women have to deal with in that kind of society. But something else I really loved was The Sun is Also a Star, for the Black immigrant experience. Not a lot of that is not usually talked about when it comes to immigration in popular conversation anyway. So I think that that's one of my favorite books, and it's also the romance is just soft and all that. And I keep looking at the mirror. I'm supposed to look at the camera. I have a third one in mind. Trevor Noah's The Born a Crime. I have a couple of friends. I mean, I have a friend who doesn't like it because of the writing, but I think it's a valid take on the Black experience as well. Especially for mixed people living in an apartheid state. Like, that is a kind of unique experience. The book was so funny and heartwarming, and mostly about his mother. you know I can't say much for the writing. Like, I'm not I'm not an expert at writing, or critiquing writing, but I just loved how heartwarming it is. And like they say, it's hard to rate biographies. So in the end, one man's meat is another man's poison. But like, I really loved that book. I loved the audiobook as well, because Trevor, Trevor Noah, um I just got some setting spray in my throat. Trevor Noah narrates that book and does inflections, and it's so funny. And yeah, I really love that book. I don't know if it has aged well. Probably because he wrote it about his mother. Trevor Noah himself is another story, but let me not get into that over here. My favorite book by a Black author, I'd say obviously. Oh, my favorite book by Black author is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. That book, like, really, I loved it so much. Like it encapsulated my whole, not my whole upbringing, but like a big chunk of my upbringing, and it just brought me to tears. And you can't say that about a lot of books. Like, that book was just something else. And I really love Elizabeth Acevedo. Shout out to Sage Reads, who sent me a copy of The Poet X and With the Fire on High, because I loved those two books. And Sage, you are the bomb. Like, I love you so much. Mwah. Like, you are so, like, they are so kind. Recommend a Black and queer book. Conveniently have a queer book, an FF book, The Weight of the Stars, which I'll be reading for another video. I actually don't know what it's about, other than it's like, what is it, a found family trope, FF kind of thing. I think about um a girl who goes looking for a missing mother who used to work in NASA, I think, and like the main character is helping her find her mom. That's all I know about it. But yeah, I'm going to read it for another video, which I hope will be successful. So stay tuned for that one. Y'all, if I look orange on camera, please don't mind me. Recommend a book with a Black person on the cover. Y'all have already seen this one. I mean, I could have shown others if I had them here, but I don't have all my books here. Hopefully they're gonna come and I won't have to be, waiting for them for months. I think I'd go with these. I really loved this one. Like I love it. So like I love it. I'm not sure about this one. Like the verdict is out, is still out, but like I got it last year. I still haven't read it till now. I don't know. I keep getting distracted. I don't know. But I don't know. I think I maybe it's not good to come back to a book after you left for so long because the hype, the excitement doesn't isn't there as much. But it's not. I mean, let's just say this was great, and this is eh. We are yet to see. But yeah, those are two books I would recommend. And no, I mean, I still love Tomi Adeyemi. Like, she's my favorite fantasy author right now. Like, anything she writes, I am going to read. Like, the way y'all stand, Sarah J. Maas, and all them famous white female authors, I will stand Tomi Adeyemi. You know what? I haven't talked about. Speaking of Tomi Adeyemi, yeah, in fantasy, an unknown writer that people don't know about. You should go and read Daughters of Nri by Renike Amayo. I will forever talk about that book. Like, I loved that book so much. It was so relatable. And I'm so glad that, you know, more fantasy is coming from African authors instead of, you know, the usual um struggle narratives. Which I mean the books, those fantasy books still have an element of that, but like, you know, books still need conflict. I mean, a story needs conflict, which I understand, but like, I love Renike Amayo, and y'all should go and support because I think she publishes independently. So, and I think the sequel to Daughters of Nri is also going to come out. I don't know when, but I'm excited for that. I don't know if how I'll get my hands on it, but you know, this is the reality of living in a developing country. You don't always get the books you want at the time you want. Recommend a book by a black author that makes you happy. Yo, this is just turning into a Elizabeth Acevedo stan. Like stunning Elizabeth Acevedo for 20 minutes or however long this video is going to be. Cause that book, like, her books make me happy, but like also these two books make me happy. Like Nicola Yoon, like they're my comfort reads. Like when I just feel like I don't have any book, like I don't know. I think when I'm in a slump as well, these books are just the ones, especially everything. I don't know, but there's something about, you know, um writing styles where, you know, it's not just the prose, but there's like little drawings in there and messages and texts. I love that style of writing. Like I find it so, I don't know, so quirky, and I don't know, like an easy read and stuff. These days though, I've been going for more difficult reads, and I don't know why. I think also my reading tastes are changing, but whenever I need a pick me up, I just turn to an Elizabeth Acevedo book or a Nicola Yoon book because they just do it. Those two just do it for me. Those are the ones I love. They just make me happy. Recommend some black booktubers. Oh, I would totally recommend my two Kenyan sisters on here. You know, we're the only Kenyans on booktube. The rest of everybody else is on Instagram because, you know, Instagram is easier to post. You know, you just post pictures, small caption, and you go. But like, I would recommend Soila Reads. She's a Kenyan. You should go watch her. She had an interesting video on, what was it? I've forgotten exactly what, but it was like a fantasy genre that I've never heard of. Fantasy and mystery at the same time, and she was explaining a lot of things about it, and it sounded really smart. And I think it was I don't know, a kind of a discussion video and a book review at the same time. But I really enjoyed it, and I think I'm gonna pick the book that was suggested. I'll put the picture of the video anyway so that you can see what I'm talking about. Also, Lexa Reads, another Kenyan. Please go watch and support her channel. She just started the other day. Also, I should mention both of them just started the other day. Lexa Reads had an also posted her TBR for the transathon, which apparently is going on. I didn't know. But yeah, go and check out that video if you want some recommendations for, transathon, or, just support trans authors. Hena J. Bryan, also on YouTube, on Black British Booktube. She just started and she's got like 4K subscribers, which is amazing. Um, she kind of brings the publisher aspect to booktube, and she knows what she's talking about. She makes good book recommendations. I liked her two previous videos about, I think she slave narratives. I really liked the angle she came with in that video, and I learned some things that I didn't know before. Also, what was it? Oh yeah, she also had a new video about raising a reader in recommending books for kids, like getting kids into reading, which I found interesting, and she's doing well. Like, go and watch and support. Also, Annie, I think Anne Adores, I think that's the channel name. She does a lot of YA fantasy, not YA fantasy, just adult fantasy, and also some YA thrown in there. And she makes also interesting discussion videos about reading. You should go check her out. Ariel from She Wants the Diction. She's also really smart. Like, her videos are so like, she really goes into depth about like why these white male authors are overrated, which I find funny. But like, yeah, go and watch and support. Of course, Mariama, who tagged me into this video, who does mainly YA fiction recommendations and black queer recommendations and manga. If you want any of that, just head over to her channel. Talk about a book by a black author that's coming out in 2020. What's coming out this year? I think Cinderella is Dead is coming out, or is already out. I'm not sure, but I'm looking forward to that. Ray Bearer as well. Looking forward to that. I don't know if it's out already. Legend Born is another one. Felix Ever After just came out, and everyone is talking about it. I haven't read it yet. I don't know when I'll get my hands on it, but we hope. Also, the sequel to The King of the Conquered is out this year, I think. I'm not sure. But I haven't even read the first one. So once I hope to read it soon and come back and see whether I'll even read the sequel. Oh, A Song of Wraith and Ruin is also out, which I was looking forward to, but I don't even know if it will be available here. Probably have to just get the ebook. Oh yeah, The Vanishing Half by Brit Bennett, which is, I think, already out. A lot of people have been talking about it. I'm not sure about Brit Bennett. I tried the mothers, like the first two chapters, to see whether I would continue reading it, and it wasn't catching me then. But it's a debut, so I don't know. I don't know, debuts. You never know with debuts, but the new one might be a better version. Tag some black booktubers. Oh gosh, who hasn't done the video? Ariel, I don't know if she put out a black booktube tag. You can go on and do it. I don't know if Anne has one of those. If Anne has put up the video. I also tag Hena J. Bryan. I don't think she has one of those. Oh, Lexa and Soila, go ahead and do the tag. I don't know. How do beauty gurus do it again? They do poses. I look silly, bro. Anyway, that's the final thing. Just, doing makeup at 4 o'clock, which doesn't make sense, but you know, the things we do for booktube. I just realized that I forgot to mention one more person. I think she's called Rhyshaxverse. I think she's called Rhysha. So I forgot to shout out Rhysha from Rhyshaxverse. Like, she's a Jamaican booktuber. I think she also does lifestyle as well, and she's also one of like small YouTubers I just like to uplift. And she's always supporting. Like, she's always supporting, and I support her as well. And um I didn't mention her, and I didn't want to put it in the description box because most people don't read the description box. So shout out to you, and please go and watch and support her and stuff like that. And so so if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. All them good things there. I will see you in my next video. Bye.